Welcome. In this explainer, we are diving deep into HelloCRM's admin settings, literally configuring them from the ground up. We're going to show you exactly how to set everything up for peak performance, killer security, and just, maximum efficiency. This way, your system is wired correctly from day one.
So let's be real, we've all been there, right? A CRM that isn't set up properly, well, it can feel like a huge step backward. When your email, your messaging channels, and your billing are all just floating around disconnected, your team ends up wasting a ton of time. And even worse, you might be risking sensitive data. It just creates way more problems than it solves. You click send, all ready to go, and then you get hit with an error message, just like this one. Ugh, it's so frustrating, and it completely stops your team in their tracks. So in this explainer, we're going to walk through the exact settings you need to configure so you never, ever have to see this message again. You'll be operating smoothly right from the start. All right, here's the plan. We'll start by really understanding the problem, then we'll jump straight into connecting your tools. After that, we'll get into personalizing your workspace, locking down user management and security, and then we'll wrap it all up with a pro tip on how to turn your setup into a real business strategy. First things first, let's connect your tools. I want you to think of this area as your central command center. It's the foundation for literally everything else you're going to do in HelloCRM. So the very first step is to get all of your external tools connected. This means linking up your communication providers for things like text and voice, connecting all your team email accounts, adding your website tracking scripts, and setting up any developer webhooks, which, by the way, are just automated messages that get sent from one app to another when something happens. Simple as that. Okay, now this is really, really clever. The whole idea behind this providers section is kind of genius. This is where you manage all your credentials for services like Twilio for SMS or your WhatsApp business account. And by keeping them all here, totally separate from your automations, you can update a password or an access token without ever breaking a single workflow. It's a brilliant design that gives you so much long-term stability. Next up, let's talk email. You can connect accounts using Gmail or a standard SMTP server, which is just the universal way to send email. But what's just as important is that you can centrally manage your team's email signatures right here. This makes sure that every single message that goes out looks professional, is perfectly on brand, and is fully traceable right back into the CRM. Okay, your tools are all connected. Now it's time to look inward. This section is all about personalizing your workspace to match your brand and, the way your team actually works. So on a personal level, every user should set their details and, this is a big one, their time zone. This is absolutely essential for making sure your scheduled campaigns and messages go out at the correct local time. Then on the company level, the branding section is where you add your logo and name. This gives you that consistent professional look across all your public-facing stuff like templates and emails. Now, this is a huge one for your operations. In CRM settings, you get to define the ground rules for your entire team. This is where you set your global consent preferences to stay compliant and define the default lifecycle stages for all your contacts. What you're really doing here is creating a standardized, predictable way of working that everyone follows automatically. All right, the system is personalized, so now let's make it secure. Our third section covers users and security, basically controlling who can see what and do what. HelloCRM gives you a really powerful set of controls here. You can manage everything from simple notification rules for new messages to different login security options, all the way to some pretty sophisticated user permissions. And finally, you can monitor your billing and overall system usage. And this table just perfectly illustrates the power of what's called role-based access control, or RBAC. Just look at this. A sales rep, they can only see and edit the contacts and deals they personally own. A support agent can't see deals at all, but they can work on their own tickets. And of course, a manager has full access to everything. This lets you roll out HelloCRM across sales, support, and marketing without just handing over the keys to the entire kingdom to everyone. It's so important. And finally, for your operations and finance teams, the billing section integrates directly with Stripe, which lets you securely manage all your subscriptions and credits. Then the admin console gives you this great high-level dashboard, so you have one central place to see system usage, transactions, and the overall health of the platform. Okay, so you've done the setup, you've checked all the boxes. But here's our pro tip to take this from just a one-time task to an ongoing strategic advantage for your business. Here it is, the key takeaway. Your settings area is not a checklist you just complete once and forget about. It's the living, breathing operating system for your business, and it needs to be reviewed and adjusted as you grow.
Think about it. As your business evolves, your CRM configuration has to evolve with it. When you enter a new market, you'll need to go back to providers to add new phone numbers. When roles change on your team, you have to update your permissions. As your usage grows, you'll need to check in on your billing. Your settings should always reflect your current business reality.
So what should you do right now, like today? Here are 3 simple, actionable steps. First, go connect to your primary email provider. Second, add your first messaging channel, whether it's SMS or WhatsApp. And third, invite just one teammate and assign them a specific role. I promise, if you do these 3 things, all these concepts will become very real, very fast.
And with that, you are truly ready to run HelloCRM as your team's central operating system for everything: revenue, service, and marketing. Make sure you share this guide with your team so everyone learns the platform correctly right from the very beginning. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.